I got to talk to my kids. My oldest 4, I got to talk to them a month ago. And that's the first time in a couple years. And that's because my mom drove down to the Bay Area to go see him. And then she called me so I could talk to them. But I don't know I'm not sure what her problem is, but I tried to give the kids my number and she hung up on me. Huh.
All right, Renee.
Yes.
Renee, where are you from originally?
I was born in Hayward, California, and I was raised in the East Bay area, San Francisco Bay Area.
Tell me about your family growing up.
My parents are cool. My mom lives in Oregon. My dad lives in Reno. Divorced when I was like 12. I have 2 sisters. One passed away this year, and my parents are normal. I mean, I had a pretty uneventful childhood, but it was cool.
That's great. Mm-hmm. And are there addicts in your family?
My dad's a gambler.
Mm.
He goes to Gamblers Anonymous for like 5-6 years now.
I think it's related.
Something like that, yeah. My mom, not really. Like they smoked weed, cigarettes, but that's it.
How bad was your dad's gambling?
It was pretty bad. He would rather my stepmom think that he's cheating rather than know that he was at the casino gambling.
Really?
Yeah. Until she found out, and then she made him go to Gamblers Anonymous.
That's funny.
Uh-huh.
You graduated high school?
I did not.
What happened?
I just dropped out. I ended up moving to Reno with my sister, my older sister at the time, and I just never got back into school.
What were your plans? What were you doing that was more important than school?
Nothing really. I really wasn't doing anything. Kind of just floating around.
Were drugs part of the picture?
Yeah, but not really. Mainly it's always just been mostly just pot. Crystal every once in a while, but never. I didn't start doing it consecutive all the time until like maybe a few years ago. So.
And so now your drug is crystal?
Yes, crystal and weed still. But like I said, back in the day, like even when I was married and had kids, and I would mess around every once in a great while. But it was like there was a time period of like 10 years that I didn't mess around with crystal or anything. But I've always smoked weed.
What's your attitude on drugs like crystal? That it's just harmless?
To each their own. I'm not one to judge. If somebody, whatever they want to put in their bodies is on them. So I don't judge.
How old are you now?
I'm 42.
42, and you're on the streets?
Mm-hmm. I've been on the streets for probably like 3, almost 4 years now.
And doing crystal?
Yeah.
How do you make money?
I hustle. I whatever I get, I sell it. Whether it be drugs or merchandise or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like this lifestyle?
No. I'd rather have my life back. I'd rather have my kids. Yeah. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time.
How many kids?
I have 6.
You have 6 kids.
Mm-hmm. I have 5 boys and 1 girl. My oldest is 21 and my youngest is 4.
And where are they?
They're all up north. My ex-husband has my oldest 4 with him, and then my ex-sister-in-law adopted my 2 youngest.
You think this is all because of the drug?
No, I wasn't really doing drugs when all this happened. I didn't start doing drugs until after, like hardcore, every day. Yeah, I was normal before this.
Why have you lost your kids?
Well, there was I moved out here to San Bernardino. Was the first place that we moved to from up north, and we got out here. And my ex is from out here, but I met him up north, right? So then we came down here to live. We moved to San Bernardino, and
today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. After my recent loss, I was completely thrown off. I couldn't sleep, my mind was scattered, had a hard time working and focusing, so I started seeing a therapist. And just having a space to talk with someone who helps you see things from a different perspective helps you to feel grounded again. And slowly, I started coming back to myself. And that's what therapy gives you, the ability to meet yourself with patience and compassion, especially when things don't go the way you expected. I think therapy is one of the best investments a person can make in themselves. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier. You just fill out a short questionnaire and get matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime at no extra cost. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, it's a platform you can trust. Click on the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/soft white underbelly to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you for watching.
It's just a really bad neighborhood, and there was a homicide on the property, and it had nothing to do with us, but because the FBI had the whole apartment complex under surveillance, they had gotten a search warrant for our apartment, including along with 20 other apartments. They had gotten a search warrant for us because they had seen surveillance of me and my ex with holding guns basically in our doorway. I had a picture of that, and he's a felon. My ex is, so that's why they hit our pad. And when they hit our pad, it was there was a firearm sitting out. This is 5 in the morning, 5 a.m. no knock search warrant. So they broke our door down, and there was a firearm sitting out next to the safe, but nonetheless, yeah. So that's why they took him. Well, charged me with child endangerment, but the DA never picked up the case. And so even though I got out of jail 3 days later with nothing, they still didn't give me my kids back.
And are you basically just numbing the...
I'm lost without them. I'm lost without my kids. And so at this point, the way I feel is, to be honest, I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to do. The first half of my life, as far as my kids go, I was a stay-at-home mom. I did everything. I was super mom. And then, I did everything right, and then this is what happens. I get screwed. They ultimately, they ruined my life. They ruined my kids' lives. I understand, I do believe in the Second Amendment, though, the right to bear arms, to protect my home and my family. But, of course, that doesn't matter,
Do you have any regrets in your life?
No. I believe where I'm at is where I'm supposed to be, for whatever reason that is, or whatever, for whatever destiny or however you want to put it, what path and what I'm here to do, I guess.
Not many mothers of 6 kids lose them.
Yeah, I know. The strange thing is I noticed since I've been out here, I have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. This is the 5 years I've been out in Southern California. I know a lot of people. And everyone I know has kids, but doesn't have their kids. I know thousands of people, and they all have children, but they don't have their kids. They're all been taken from CPS. I don't know anybody that has their kids.
Yeah, these are people on the street, though.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of how we end up on the street. Because once I was surviving on benefits. My kids and me and my ex, and we lived in a really small apartment. When they took the kids, the benefits get cut immediately. We lost everything after that. So I think it's a big part of why the homelessness is so bad right now. Up north, it's not like this. People just don't lose their kids like that. And it's not as common as it is here and acceptable. It's not as accepted as it is down here. I don't know why.
Do you think there's a chance that your kids will grow up without you and you'll just be here on the streets forever?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, part of me, like I said, I did everything right, and so I'm kind of in this this phase of like fuck the government. Like I did everything right, and then I still got screwed, and look where I'm at, and it's hard because, people don't care. You have all these homeless people out here, and then you have people like big businesses like Starbucks, and where McDonald's are taking out all their receptacles, their electrical outlets, so you can't charge no more. There's one over on Washington, Alameda over here. It used to be a walk-in store. It had a bathroom, and they completely changed it to where it is not a walk-in one anymore. It's basically a walk-up counter, and you can't even go inside anymore. It's like, what are people like me supposed to do? As far as we need to use the bathroom. Then they complain about, people being on the street, using the restroom on the street, or like I said, we can't even charge our phones. They make it really tough, and the poor. Some of us are poor, we just get poorer.
It sounds like you're getting a really raw deal.
Yeah.
You don't think there's any responsibility that you have in this?
Of course. My whole life, I even being a stay-at-home mom, I still had part-time jobs, and I could do all that. I don't want to.
You don't want to work?
I don't want to do anything that they want me to do. That's how I feel. I have a bad taste in my mouth after everything I've been through, and they really don't care. I mean, my kids. There was no issue with my kids. My kids weren't being neglected, nothing like that. There was no drug use. They only busted me and him for that, and it shouldn't have been so hard to get them back. They made it almost impossible for me to get my kids back, and so I'm just really salty about it. So I don't want to do anything they want me to do. I don't have anything in my name except for my EBT card. Excuse me. Everything else, I have nothing else in my name. Nothing. No bank accounts, no phones, no nothing.
Your kids aren't more important than whatever?
Oh, they are. They are. But I feel hopeless though, because it's such a long way back to get back, and I've already lost so much time, and I feel like it's part of it's my fault. I'm not saying it's all their fault. It's partly my fault. I should have done things a little bit different, but I think I'm punishing myself low key. In a way, I'm punishing myself because I know I can do anything I put my mind to. I'm very skilled, and I know how to do a lot of stuff. And I know how to go out and get a job like that. Within a week, I could have a job.
If you had your life to live all over again, what would you have done differently?
Not move to Southern California. It's different. It's different down here. Up north, my ex wasn't. There was no issues up north. He's an Asian Southsider. So
moving is easy.
Yeah. So, but down here, it's different because there's a lot of it's all gangs and stuff.
Does being down here give you something to complain about?
A what?
Does being in Southern California give you something to complain about?
No, I love LA. I don't mind it at all. It's just the situation that I have going on, and like I said, I just feel kind of hopeless, and I'm lost without my kids, and so I just don't even. I almost. It sounds really bad. I just don't care anymore. Yeah, I'm okay with. I'm content with being content. I'm just existing. I'm okay with that, and that's kind of sad, but that's the honest truth. I'm just okay. I'm just okay with it. I don't.
When you were younger, did you have dreams of doing something with your life?
Well, yeah. I knew I always wanted to be a mom, so I got that part. But if I could go over and do it all again, I'd probably be a geologist.
But are you a mom?
Yeah. Not right now. All these people out here, all the people I know, they don't know me like that. They don't know me. They can't see me with kids. Because they don't ever, but that's what I do. I take care of people. I know how to take care of somebody. I know how to run a household. I know how to shop and make it last. Like, you know what I mean? I'm very domesticated in that way. So whenever like I hang out like at friends' houses, people that let me stay with them, you know, I always do my best to cook and clean and stuff because I like doing that kind of stuff because I miss it now, you know. Back then it was like, oh God, I have to do all this stuff and, you know, cook dinner and but now I miss that stuff.
Do you talk to your kids? Not at all.
I got to talk to my kids. My oldest 4, I got to talk to them a month ago, and that's the first time in a couple years. And that's because my mom went down. Drove down to the Bay Area to go see him, and then she called me, so I could talk to them. But I don't know what. I'm not sure what her problem is, but I tried to give the kids my number, and she hung up on me. So I don't know why.
You don't know why?
I'm like, she's supposed to be on my side. You know, not my ex-husband's side. Like, we all make mistakes and stuff, but, you know, I never did any. My kids, like I said, my kids were fine. And I did everything right. 98% of that, of my life, of that part of my life, I did right. And so I'm not sure what my mom's problem is. But my kids, you know, they know I love them and they know it's hard for me. Even when I was able to talk to them on the phone, I didn't talk to them as much as I wanted to, only because I don't want them to hear me struggling. Like, two out of the 4 oldest ones are very sensitive and can sense when people aren't feeling good and stuff, and they're empathetic, so they feel other people's pain. So, and then the other 2 just don't give a shit. They're in their own world, and they don't really, you know, they're just kind of doing their own thing. So I don't know. I didn't like to call them and let them know. Like, you know, it's hard for me to talk to them and say, oh yeah, you know, I'm still in the street, you know. But I don't stay in a tent. I refuse to stay in a tent.
So where do you sleep?
I stay with friends.
Or
bounce around.
If you're doing crystal meth, you really don't have to sleep sometimes.
That part. So my mom in the beginning was like, Renee, why don't you stop doing drugs? And I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. Okay, if I don't have a place to sleep, then I need to stay awake because I'm not falling asleep somewhere random. And so that doesn't help. But like I said, I bounce around. And because of that, I mean, I know a lot of people, and I can stay anywhere. Hollywood, South Central, Long Beach, downtown LA, Boyle Heights, MacArthur Park, Skid Row, you name it. I have a place to stay. Montclair, Pomona, any city, really.
Do you ever feel guilt or shame about the situation with your children?
Of course. I only know one girl that got her kids back. And I give her so much credit for that shit because I know she went through a lot. She was doing drugs and stuff, and she quit, and she fucking cleaned her stuff up, and she went through it for a couple years to get her kid back, and she got her kid back. It's the only person I know that's done it. Only person I know that's done it, which is great. You know, I'm so proud of her. Mm-hmm. When I talked to her and I realized she got her kids back, I was like, that's really cool.
And drugs aren't the problem.
I can quit doing drugs whenever I want. I've never been to rehab, and I've always been able to stop if I need to. I like maybe every 9 months, maybe once a year, I'll stop for 2 weeks. Just to make sure I still can. I don't do Fetty. I've never smoked Fetty. I don't do anything else. So just that, and that's it.
What are you afraid of? What do you worry about?
I don't know. I think I'm afraid of. I'm not really afraid of anything, to be honest. I'm okay with whatever comes my way. I guess I'd be afraid of maybe coming across some weirdo creep, maybe, because I could come across a lot of those.
Plenty of those out there.
Oh yeah, especially out here, out in the downtown, Skid Row.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I know there's this guy that's around the place where I stay, and he basically just goes around asking girls like, "Hey, do you have a place to stay tonight?" Just so he could, take advantage of the situation. And that creeps me out. I don't like that. I get guys pulling up on me all the time asking me if I bust dates and stuff, if I'm a hooker. Yeah, I'm not, you know. So I got tired of yelling at them. I just so when they pull up on me now, I just say, "Do you like pepper spray? You like your pepper sprayed?" And they usually just drive off. So, it happens a lot. I mean, I don't think I look like a hooker, but apparently I do, because everyone thinks that they all will pull up on me and ask me, and I'm just like, no, sorry. I don't know. Kind of weird, I guess.
Renee, let me ask you one last question. What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in 44 years?
Don't take anything for granted. Yeah. Don't take anything for granted, and be thankful for every day that you have. Whatever your situation is, just be grateful. Because hindsight's always 20/20. You always look back and you always see what you did wrong, but you can't change it. So, I no regrets, but at the same time, I took for granted a lot of stuff, and that's one lesson that I can say that I learned. Is not take things for granted and to be thankful for what you have. Family, everything included.
All right. Renee, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you lots of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.